My name is Afam Echi. I'm glad to have you back again on Universal Heritage Television Niger. I'm bringing you once again our breakfast show, Daybreak Niger. And on my program today is Professor Prof. Uzorma. Professor Prof. Uzorma is a university don, a social critic, a politician, as well as the secretary or Law Council of Elders. He has been deputy governorship candidate in 2015, 2019, and 2023. Prof, you are welcome to our program.
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. The issue under discourse today, we are going to focus on the so-called Charter of Equity in Imo State. The Charter of Equity is a concept designed to share power among the three political zones in the state. Incidentally, one zone appeared to have dominated power. And we brought somebody from Olu zone to help us do justice to this topic. Charter of Equity, power sharing in Imo State. Prof, I guess you are prepared for the discussion.
Well, I'm here.
Okay. Now, let me ask in the first place, is there really a Charter of Equity? Because this issue has agitated a lot of minds. Some people believe if there's a Charter of Equity, was it drawn between which parties? Where was it drawn? What are the consequences in the case of default? And what other arrangements are surrounding this Charter of Equity? Because many people don't seem to believe in it. They see it as a political ploy. You know, politicians used to have their way. When it gets to election period, somebody will play up the joker, power of equity, to have his way. So let us hear from you. You come from Olu zone.
Yes. I'm from Olu zone. Of course, you know Olu zone has 12 local governments. Okigwe zone and the Owerri zone share the rest. Local governments as we have them in Imo State. Okay. However, I want to first of all say that there was never a time. I have done extensive research on Charter of Equity as it relates to Imo State.
Okay.
And I noticed that there was never a time there was political agreement of stakeholders in Imo State coming together to say, let us agree that this is how to share power. Okay. Particularly when it comes to the executive position, #1 position. Now, what happened was that PDP came up with that concept, and it was generally accepted. You know, Charter of Equity in a growing society. In a growing society, we make laws, and the society is governed by laws. Now, there is no constitution in the provision of 1999 Constitution as amended where this issue of equity is enshrined. You can't find it in our constitution. Therefore, Charter of Equity is not a constitutional issue. It is based on morals.
That's like a gentleman's agreement.
It is now a moral issue. And let me also tell you, what is not constitutionally right
cannot be morally.
That may be morally, what is constitutionally right may be morally wrong. Okay. That is the truth. And what is morally wrong may be constitutionally right. So the issue of Charter of Equity is being discussed on the basis of morality, on the basis of justice, and of course, you know, if we have 3 zones in Imo State, you see, if we have 3 zones in Imo State, Olu, Okigwe, and the Owerri zone, it is necessary that power be shared equitably amongst these political zones, and it's on record that borrowing the Aristotle's Nicomachean ethics Book 5, the Nicomachean Ethics of Aristotle, where he emphasized and draw a distinction, a little distinction between natural justice and equity. And then he said Aristotle looked at this issue plainly on the platform of giving somebody what belongs to him by right. What belongs to him by the rules are acceptable, and by the word he used, the mean relative to us.
The mean.
The mean relative to us. And that is to say that it is now an existential issue relating to how the people in that community, how the people in that state, how the people in that zone will look at it as it relates to us. Now, that brings us to the issue proper. How is power shared amongst Olu zone, Okigwe zone, and Owerri zone? In terms of governorship, I'm talking about. Because when we talk of this equity, power of equity, people look at it only from the perspective of the governorship position. That is wrong. Let me tell you something. Actually, since inception of democracy in Nigeria, Olu, in 2027, if Governor Hope Uzodimma continues, Olu would have ruled for 24 years out of 28 years of democracy in Nigeria. Now, looking at it from that perspective, it is inequity. But then, the question therefore is, amongst Okigwe zone, Olu zone, and Owerri zone, which of the zones have benefited more?
Okay, let me just hold it there. I will come to you. I will come to you on that. But now, drawing from what you said, you have accepted that it is inequitable for Olu zone to dominate.
Completely inequitable.
Yeah. Okay. Now let us find a way to balance power now.
When it comes to
governorship
position.
Yeah, I'm talking of
number one position.
Yes.
Okay. We must please.
I'm narrowing this discussion to the governorship position.
Okay.
Sharing the governorship position among the 3 zones.
Okay.
In Imo State, that is the focus.
Okay.
Yeah, because that is what is in the front burner.
But that is not only. That is not the only content and intent of the Charter of Equity.
Okay.
It's not only the governorship position.
Yeah, I don't know whether.
So if we narrow it here,
yes,
we are following a narrow case study, and that may not serve the very purpose for which the discussion is designed.
Okay, now in the first place,
so I will advise that we make it more universal, just as I am in the universal heritage television.
Okay. So okay, now if by 2027, like you have mentioned, Olu would have utilized 24 years.
Yes. For governorship position.
Yeah, just like people who claim to have whipped this.
But let me also tell you, sorry, a particular group, when you talk of Olu now, you say just Olu. Now, we have, in Olu zone, we have some nations, clans, stroke nations. Okay. Yeah, we have Isu nation. We have Oru nation. We have, I think, Idato nation. Now, and this power is shared amongst Oru and Idato. The Isu nation that has 4.5 local governments, that has the greater percentage of the number of population, have gotten nothing.
Okay, so
and so what is equity there?
So that is as per Olu zone. So when you go back to the Secretary of Olu, Council of Elders, you can help to sort out that. But we are looking at Imo State right now. Now, if Olu has done 24 out of 28 years, and if we want to bring equity, it will mean that Owerri zone and Okigwe zone will take turns to equal the status Olu has enjoyed right now, which means Olu will be marking time, waiting until Owerri and Okigwe zone matches their distance. Is it possible, given that Olu zone has demonstrated more appetite for power all these years? Do you see them sitting and waiting for?
Like I said, it's not a constitutional thing.
Yeah.
Take notes on that premise and platform. We can make further arguments and propositions. Listen.
Yes.
Olu zone, number one. 2000 2000 and when Uzodimma took over power, 1999, Uzodimma ruled for 8 years with a deputy governor from Okigwe zone for 8 years. Owerri all through enjoyed the position of the Speaker of Imo House of Assembly. Now, consequently, at the expiration of that tenure, it was zoned to Okigwe in that gentleman's agreement. And fortunately, something happened. Ike Hakim succeeded. Ike Hakim succeeded. From 2007 to 2011, he ruled as a governor in Imo State. And of course, you know, in 2011, at that point of election, there were so many people came out from Owerri zone. Olu zone, one person came out, and that is Rochas Okorocha. And we looked at it, that Rochas came from Abga. Remember that with the history, we can't rule out history. We know the role Owerri zone played. A prominent son of Owerri soil decided to truncate this charter of equity.
Who is the person?
You know better. You are in the media, so you know better. So the same person was used to truncate the charter of equity, and it came to pass that Olu took over as a result of that agreement between A and B that finally produced A. Olu zone took the credit, and Rochas ruled for another 8 years. What happened? Rochas was even intending, or had actually actualized, if not the efforts of people like us, you know, and he had already, he was fronting his son-in-law from Olu zone, and we said no, it's not going to happen. It will come from Owerri. In fact, I granted an interview. I did that first, and make your inquiries and your investigations. It was in the Sun newspaper. I said Olu zone will not support any candidate from Olu zone. We will support a governorship candidate from Olu zone. And that interview generated heat, generated controversy. I received threats, torrent calls, most of which were, you know, kind of threatened, whatever. But at the point, the Olu Elders Council met and said the position of Olu Elders Council is that we will not support any Olu candidate. That was what happened, and that was what brought what do you call him? The then PDP, Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha emerged. In fact, it was an agreement between Owerri zone. In fact, Olu zone at that point decided and told Owerri zone, give us 2 candidates. Owerri zone produced 2 candidates. There was a meeting. I was part of it. Mbise were part of it. All the socio-political groups from Owerri zone were part of it. I am telling you of what I participated. Just like in 2013, if you can recall, there was a stakeholders meeting in Imo State where this issue of charter of equity was extensively discussed. Iwanya was the chairman of the occasion. I was the guest speaker. And the paper I delivered till today stands out. That's why I look at people like Batos, Dr. Batos Oyi. Batos, yes. You know, the former special advisor on politics, on political decisions to the governor. He has played a very major role. Because he has been speaking on this issue of charter of equity and so many other Igbo sons. So what we're trying to say is that what happened was that while that arrangement was going on, I wouldn't forget in a hurry the role played by Owerri zone in 2015 on the basis of this charter of equity, how it was completely truncated.
So what you are saying is Owerri zone has been their own problem.
That is the truth. That is the truth, on a very serious one, because I remember in 2015. In 2015, the late traditional ruler, Uzorma, you know, what's that his full name again? You know, Njemanze.
So
invited all the contestants. We were 5 of us. I was the deputy governorship candidate then with Dr. Uzodimma Okanacho. Yes, and then Emeka Ihedioha paired with Honorable this guy from not from Uguta. Naji, my elder brother. Yeah. He paired with him, and then another person, Captain Ihanacho, picked Ike Sibe. We were in that meeting, 4 of us, in the house of Captain. All of us were, who will step down for each other. At a point, Uzodimma now had to call all of us to his house. I said one person should step down because we want Owerri zone to get this thing. And it was not, it was like a camel going through the eyes of the head.
Okay, let me take you to another question. Incumbent Governor Hope Uzodimma has promised Owerri zone that they are going to produce the next governorship candidate. And now, based on what you said, this is more or less like a gentleman's agreement. It's not enshrined in any constitution. Do you think, on what basis do you think he has made this promise? Is it based on his influence as the sitting governor, maybe to weave some actions to favor Owerri zone, or is it based on this charter of equity? Because if it is based on this charter of equity, all Okigwe people are already fronting or angling to take a position to the governorship position, whereas he has promised Owerri zone.
Let me just pose what is bereft of the principles, what we call the principles of contradiction in philosophy. Okay. And that is a very common principle. Something cannot be said to be true and at the same time false. Okay. Now, I gave an analogy of Ikedo Hakem, who ruled for 4 years. Udemwa 8 years, Hakem 4 years. Thereafter came Rochas. Now, if we are talking about equity proper, don't you think that Okigwe zone should be given the chance to complete their remaining 4-year term? That's 4-year term that is remaining for Okigwe zone. For us to talk proper equity now, I'm speaking of proper equity. Yeah. Now, if that is done, then we now say Owerri zone take over. Now, Owerri will now rule for 8 years. Now, the governor came up, I'm coming to your question. Yeah. The governor came up and made a promise because he's aware that the governor is a product of the judicial system. Yeah. And actually, he won. The Supreme Court ruled in his favor, and he emerged as the governor. That brought to an end the leadership of Emeka Ihedioha. However, it is of note to recall here that the governor knows very well that it is also not proper for Luzon to complete out of 28 years. Our Luzon will be completing 24, yeah. By 2027. Yeah. So for him to also gain credibility, for him to also, you see, the conscience is a burden that everybody is carrying. You know, he has a moral burden on him to say this equity must be maintained, and that was why he came up and said, "I'm going to hand over to Owerri zone." Let me also tell you that the governor doesn't have the right. The governor doesn't have the right to say, "I will hand over to," because power is not given, power is taken. So if that theory, political theory, that power is taken is to be justified, then that faults the statement of the governor. However, but he said that on the basis of morality, that it will be very unfair for an Olu man again to continue in beyond 2027. Then you remember what the elders did during the elections. Yeah, the elders,
I'm to come to that, but let me take you on still on what you are saying. You are talking about proper equity.
Yes, proper equity.
Now, is it which is more equitable, giving to somebody who has tested power and then leaving somebody who has zero? You know,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you.
Not tested. You are talking about balancing.
It's a simple thing. Let me tell you. If a man has 2 wives, one is fertile, one is infertile. Who do you think he will always, because he needs children, who do you think he will always be meeting?
Yeah, the one that is infertile. You have not given him opportunity. What you call it? not giving him opportunity. When you give him opportunity, we don't know whether.
Let me tell you something.
Prof, let us use our time very well.
Okay.
I want to take you to. Now,
Okay.
let me come to the elders' role in this Charter of Equity. In 2019, you are a member of the Imo Council of Elders. I don't know whether it's the right name.
Imo Guild of Elders.
Imo Guild of Elders, okay. I know you were there because I saw you in one of the meetings somewhere around here. This issue of power of equity, raised so much then, and they brokered an agreement, and supported the head to emerge. They said Owerri should be there, and head emerged.
Yes.
Now, shortly after head emerged, the Supreme Court gave power to Uzodimma, and at that point, all of you in the Imo Guild of Elders disappeared. Nobody was heard saying anything. I know the people I saw credible people like Engineer Ugu, the former governor of Delta State, the
yes.
Then Ochulo, yes. The
Professor Francis DK.
DK, yes. The former deputy governor is late now.
Yes. Even in that, Pascal Dozier was part of it.
Yes, all of you, very big, who is who in the Imo State.
Yes, we are all there. We are part of that crusade.
So it was very disappointing after power went to the governor. You people abandoned the candidates you pushed forward to.
So what do you think that we should have done? We should have. Are you saying that? You see, we're talking about governance. Yeah. We supported him to emerge as a governor, and the Constitution said otherwise.
Okay, we didn't hear you say anything.
What would have expected us to say?
And again, now still the same power issue.
Yes.
Now in 20, another opportunity came.
Yes.
Is still part of your group.
Yes.
And he is the chairman of president of
Owerri. Yes.
And this is an Owerri man,
yes.
Owerri son.
Yes.
A respected Owerri son at that. And we saw an opportunity that you would have used this position to weave power to come to Owerri zone. And then now it is still all of you are in the Imo Elders Council or Imo Guide of Elders. Now, what is the role of your group in this power sharing?
You see, when we talk of Imo Elders Council, Imo Guild of Elders was established before Imo Elders Council.
Okay.
So
which is, can you distinguish?
Now, that's what I want to do now, so that you understand the position.
Okay.
Now, when the governor emerged, he created Imo Council of Elders.
He created Imo Council?
Yes.
Okay.
When
that's Governor
Hope, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He created Imo
Council of Elders.
Council of Elders.
Okay. So which were the group? They came together. Which was the group rather that came and said, Charter of Equity will continue when Governor Uzodimma has finished his tenure.
Okay.
I wasn't part of that agreement.
Okay.
And I'm not part of that agreement.
Yeah, but some people have contested that, saying it is APC elders, not Imo.
I do not want to dabble into that area because the governor has the constitutional rights. He has the moral right to do whatever thing he wants to do. Okay. He's covered by the Constitution. Yeah. And so if you call it APC elders, I know so many members of PDP that are even in that group. Okay. So it's not APC 10. Yeah, but the point is that Ezi Romania, well-respected Royal Highness, is not an APC member, but he's a member of, if not the chairman of the elders. But the issue is that that is their opinion in terms of the Charter of Equity. Okay. They are entitled to it, and we can't disprove what they have done. But what we are saying is that even this so-called agreed Charter of Equity, which the governor says he will hand over to Owerri zone, does not hold water. Quote me.
Okay, the Charter of Equity does not hold water.
The Charter of Equity of handing over to Owerri zone.
Okay.
So take note in that context, saying I will hand over to Owerri zone. I'm saying the governor has no right to say he will hand over to Owerri zone, because I have said that he only has one vote. Yeah. Supposing an Olumani comes out to contest in 2027. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what we are talking about.
Yes.
That is why we want to know this charter of equity, like now, let me take you still on it.
Okay.
Because you seem to have more information than I have. Because you know the people that constitute the charter, Imo Council of Elders. And those are the people that now are speaking on the charter of equity. Now, assuming there is a default again, who do we hold responsible? How do we...
The electorate. The electorate?
Yes.
Should be held responsible. I've told you from the beginning here that politics is a game of number. Yeah. In my own terms, it's also a game of conscience. Yeah. Okay. Now, this discussion is cocooned, framed, arranged, programmed to accommodate the human conscience. Yeah. I am saying I believe in the Charter of Equity. Okay. But the problem we have and what will continue to truncate this Charter of Equity is the story that was captured by Aesop, the slave philosopher. He told a story about the turtle and the scorpion. Let me give a synopsis of that story. The turtle is a poor swimmer, and then the turtle said to the scorpion, the scorpion said to the turtle rather, "Can you carry me beyond this river, across the river?" The turtle said, "No, you will sting me." Turtle said, "No. The scorpion said, "What is this? What will be my benefit if I do that?" There is no logic in that. You know? He said, "Are you sure you are not going to sting me?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, hop on." They embarked on the voyage. Midway the journey, the scorpion stung the turtle. And they started sinking down the ocean. As they continued, what happened? The turtle looked at the scorpion and said, "Mr. Scorpion, you said you were not going to sting me. Now you stung me." Yeah. What is the logic? He said, "It is not a matter of logic. It is in my nature to sting." Now, it is in the nature of our politicians to fail promises. And so we will continue to mold our conscience. We'll continue to speak out. We'll continue to make sure that the right things are done in our society. Owerri should give us a good candidate. But let me also tell you, Owerri politicians are balkanized. They are so much balkanized that to the effect that 2027 now, you will see more than 50, 70 different political parties feeding in candidate with one vote. And they will divide their vote, and one person from Oluzon will come out, and then so that is the issue. So if we want to talk about this Charter of it, I want to. This is a television program, and I want to use this opportunity to advise our elders. Let us be honest. Let us be sincere. Olu has ruled for a very long time. A particular part of Olu in terms of governorship, because from where I came from, we have not tasted power. Isu nation has not tasted power. I must accentuate that from time to time. We have not tasted deputy governorship position. We've not tasted the governorship position. Power has been shared between Oru and the Dato nation. Okay. So now there is nothing wrong. Where a person can come to Isu nation. Okay. And let there be alliance, because Isu nation has the bulk vote in Oluzon. So this is an expo to all political scientists. Yes. So do your homework proper, and then the meeting point of destiny, Isu nation will play a major role. Yeah, Prof, it seems you have so many battles. You are battling equity at the Imo state level, and then inequity too in my zone. Okay, yeah, you see, this is the reason many people lack confidence in this so-called Charter of Equity. Many people don't believe in it because, just like you rightly pointed out, it is in the nature of politicians not to keep promises. They have not kept promises to the electorate. They will vow and tell you they will do this, they will do that. Then is it in the promise they will give to themselves that they are going to keep? Now, now, in your own thinking, in your own mind, what do you think, even beyond calling on the elders to show sincerity, what do you think we need to do? And because it's not impossible that, based on the picture you painted, by 2027 again, the same scenario will play out, and the Governorship will lose out. May play out. Okay. So, what do you think needs to be done? What I think that should be done is to say civilization is not found on structures, but in a round-table discussion. I think the need is so prominent and eminent at this point that let there be a roundtable discussion. It's not something that somebody will be at Okigwe and be speaking a different thing. Somebody will be from Owerri and be speaking a different thing. There should be a forum. A forum should be created, yeah, to accommodate people of like minds, so that people will be properly sensitized. This is Imo. Imo belongs to us all. A particular zone should not be taken. My brother, it's not correct. Yeah. I'm speaking my mind. It is not correct. But if that is the will of God, who am I to oppose it?
Yeah. Do you think God will continue to support inequity?
You see, God is not man. You know, God is not man. We may look what we regard as inequity. Yes. To him, yeah. maybe equity. in terms of psychological understanding of.
Those people maybe in their karma they are supposed to.
Because some people are also paying for their karma. You don't know. You don't know why. I'm telling you the truth. You know, but if Hakim had completed his eight years tenure, I think it would have given Owerri Zone a very better chance. Even at that, Owerri still stand a better chance. That is the truth. Because if they can put themselves together, yeah. Please, it is necessary. Take this message to all political leaders from Owerri Zone. Okay. We must speak the truth. They should come together. Who is the political leader in Owerri Zone? Yeah. Find out someone who is a good political leader. The Owerri Zone should anchor on that person. Let there be a get-together. Speak with one mind. Proper sensitization should go on. So that this, because let me tell you, Owerri Zone may decide to revolt against Olu tomorrow. Okigwe Zone may decide to let me tell you, it's a very common thing. If Owerri Zone agrees with Okigwe Zone, Olu Zone will never get anything. Even though we are talking of governor. Go to Olu Zone, what have we gotten? We have enjoyed it for almost 24 years. What have we gotten? Yeah, nothing.
I want to use that to yab you because
it's only Governor Hope that is even, I'm telling you, we got nothing from Okorocha. We got nothing from maybe little or nothing from Uzodimma. Yeah. It is only the governor, this present governor, that look at the road. Yeah, that is the truth. I'm being very honest.
No, Prof, what you're saying is right. Because I stumbled on a group of youths, where they were discussing this thing, and some of them played the joke, which I said I was going to use to yab you, because he said Olu Zone is like the north of Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria. They love power. They like to grab power, but they don't know what to use with power. They don't know how to use it because not even the so many years they have ruled. Is still underdeveloped.
Can I make a solemn appeal?
Just like, no, let me finish. When we were growing up, there is this statement. You're into my mind.
Yes. Let me tell you.
So how do you explain that?
That is a problem. That is the problem. You see, that is the problem.
You struggle for something.
Suffering in the midst of plenty. Yeah. And yet we are talking of equity here. Like I said, all those don't have gotten nothing. Even in terms of appointments, ministers, whatever. Federal appointment is shared between Idato Nation and Oru Nation. I'm being very frank with you. Yeah. So, but we are still talking of Olu. Yeah. Olu has so developed that every governor that, whether it's from Okigwe or from Olu Zone, will always want to focus on Owerri to make sure that Owerri is developed. So, in terms of dividends of democracy, Owerri is benefiting more. But we are only answering the name. So, but I want to also use the opportunity. The governor, I want to say he has tried for the little effort he's making, and we want him to continue. Please, if God keeps him there in the next 3 years, please, Governor Hope Uzodimma, develop Olu Zone. Olu is lagging behind. We have nothing there. Please. Okay. We need development, infrastructural development, and every aspect. Olu Zone, we need it. Please.
Okay, Prof, I think I should take that as your last, that appeal to the governor as your last comment on this topic. On that note, I want to round off the program, and I appreciate your coming to the program. Thank you so much. I hope you still avail us your time subsequently when we might invite you again.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. And viewers, this is the much we can take from this program today. We have been hearing the guests talk about, he said charter of equity does not exist. It's not a constitutional thing. It's more or less like a gentleman's agreement. And people are not committed to, are not bound to respect it. And that is perhaps is what we are experiencing. You know, he has also told us that Owerri politicians are not speaking with one voice and are balkanized. And if they don't put their acts together very well, they might still lose the opportunity. And then for him, the only solution that can be with is people should come to a round table, discuss these things, and then find a way forward. Finally, he has appealed to the governor to help develop Uzorma. Uzorma has been holding powers, but they've not been making good use of the powers to develop the zone. So on this note, my name again is Afam H. Thank you for being part of the program. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform.